driving more visitors to the Tar Heel state.
And North Carolina saw the largest abortion rate spike in the country after the overturning of Roe v. Wade. Our chief political correspondent, Emma Withrow, says some Republican lawmakers are hoping to be able to change that. Emma?
Yeah, it would only take 2 Democrats to side with Republican lawmakers to override Governor Cooper's veto power and pass stricter abortion access laws here in North Carolina. But right now, no restrictions beyond the 2-week ban are on the table, which is the 20-week ban, which is why so many women are crossing state lines to access abortion care here. Republican Representative Jeffrey McNeely hinted at new abortion legislation, but no bills have been filed thus far.
This is something that I think we need to make sure we get it right when we do decide to do something. And we have to work with both chambers to make sure we're all in agreement.
McNeely would like to see a 6-week abortion ban passed. On the other side of the aisle, Senator Rachel Hunt is working to codify the protections of Roe v. Wade with Senate Bill 19. But Hunt doesn't expect the bill to pass, with Republicans having a supermajority in the Senate.
We cannot let our women and our families suffer like others in states that have extreme abortion or anti-abortion laws and force people to travel, to leave their house, leave their children, leave their job, drive hundreds of miles, and risk their own lives and safety in order to have this procedure done.
Data released from WeCount, the Society of Family Planning, shows North Carolina had a 37% increase in abortions between April and August of last year following the overturn of Roe v. Wade.
We've definitely seen a surge, especially here in Charlotte. We also have a facility in Raleigh who's also seeing a surge, but it's not as, noticeable in Raleigh as it is in Charlotte. I think that has a lot to do with the fact we're right on the border of South Carolina.
That's Calla Hales, the executive director for a preferred women's health center in Charlotte, which strictly offers pregnancy terminations. Nationwide, abortions have decreased by about 6% since Roe was overturned. South Carolina saw an 80% decrease in abortions from April to July, and then a 56% decrease from July to August. Within that time, state lawmakers passed the fetal heartbeat bill, which banned abortion after 6 weeks. Courts in South Carolina overruled that ban, and South Carolina went back to their original 20-week policy. Though data shows many South Carolina residents are still traveling up north to have the procedure done.
This doesn't come with a guidebook, so we've had to do our best to kind of make changes as we go to see how we can accommodate the need. That means hiring new staff. That means extending hours. We've played around with different types of scheduling.
And it's definitely tough to accommodate that need. A preferred women's health center in Charlotte's actually one of 3 clinics that offer abortion services in our area. And then there's only 9 counties in North Carolina out of our 100 counties that have abortion clinics. Hales says the reasoning behind the lack of abortion clinics is due to the particularly strict laws and regulations to open up these clinics in our state. Back to you guys.